Hello everybody, this is Talscar here, and I wanted to have a talk with everyone and say hello and tell them what I've been up to since I don't really post videos anymore. Well, this will be one of the only ones I've posted in the last few months, apart from some hidden videos which are for a competition that I've been working towards, and it's all about cars. And what I've done in my video, which I won't actually say now, is I've done some pretty nice things, and it's got a bit of a story behind it, and it all has to be done in 30 seconds. And with this, I had to basically the idea was to show your interpretation of the brand, Super Cheap Autos brand, and their stores. Now, since I've actually started YouTube, I've done a lot of different things, and I've had a lot of moments where I haven't been doing anything or not much at all. So what I'm going to say is what I've done since probably my last official video, or maybe since the beginning of the year. Since the beginning of the year, I got a Triton MH 1991. And this car is a beautiful car. It didn't come with any engine or drivetrain or anything, and recently I started to design a nice engine, a really powerful and fast one, which is a diesel. The revolutions per minute would be, I'm aiming to get it to 6,500 so it can compete with a petrol engine and be able to go the same speed sort of thing. Now, there's a little bit of an interesting fact, or maybe not a fact, it's an interesting opinion about whether a diesel is better than a petrol. Now, in reality, a diesel is more fuel efficient than a petrol, but the difference between the two is a diesel, with its low revs and high power, is it faster than a petrol or slower? In actual reality, it's slower, it can't reach as high speeds because of how much compression its components are under. Meaning that if you were to try and drag a diesel and a petrol off the track, or the starting mark, and it was the exact same car, exact same model, exact same drivetrain but different engines, like petrol versus a diesel, you'd find out that maybe in the beginning the diesel will be ahead of the petrol and you'd think it's going to win, but near the end you'll notice that the petrol is ahead by a mile. So basically, overall, a petrol will go much faster, but it won't get to speed as quickly as a diesel would. Now, in that turn of fact, or fiction, whatever you want to call it, there's also, what I have is two Tritons now, as you may see in the pictures. The Triton MH 1991 is the white one, which is near the house, closest one to the house actually, and it's the Ute. The Black Mamba, as I call it, I'm sorry Megamind, I stole it from your video, kinda, partially, is the black car. The Black Mamba is the car. I always call it Black Mamba because it was black when I bought it, and some people were like, you better change the colour, and I'm like, yeah, why should I? I got it that way, and it's an expensive job that was put on the car, whatnot. Anyway, I've been driving the Black Mamba around with a refurbished gearbox, which is pretty neat. I've been treating a bit I've been treating the car with a bit of disrespect. That's what I'd call it. And by disrespect, I mean I've been gearing quickly, and I've been I've revved the head off in the beginning with it because I was learning to drive. I was revving it to 3,000, its maximum peak power roughly. Actually, it's 3,500, and then gearing up. Now, in the beginning, I think I was using a lot more fuel up than now. If you gear up quick enough to the gears that you're meant to be in for the road speed and whatnot, I think you're saving fuel as long as you're in those gears. Also, making the car not rev so much is saving fuel. Though it does chew up fuel going up in the Adelaide Hills, driving around up there. It chewed up a lot of fuel doing that drive, and I had to top up afterwards. But now I think about it, maybe not so much. It might not have been chewing up as much as I was thinking it was. I've done 150 kilometers, and I still have just over half a tank of fuel. So, and I did 80-kilometer drive in the Adelaide Hills, and that chewed up 1/3 of the tank. So, yeah, maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Other than that, the engine that's going to be designed or going to get created will actually go into the Triton MH, because it's very hard to get a diesel engine for those cars, and if it's a successful engine, some company might approach me and want to buy it. And I was thinking about what I could do, because there's a lot of companies out there that really want new technology. Now, not the technology that I'm talking about, making it work, is actually already existing. Some of it not so well known, but it's also a bit modified. Now, there are performance upgrades that will reduce friction on the engine and double your horsepower, double your torque maybe, even. But there are also factors in my engine that will make it allow it to take on more stress factors, such as a certain kind of bearing which will take a lot more load, but it might increase friction, but it also might last a much longer time than normal bearings, because bearings are ball bearings, and they don't take as much load as spline bearings. So we'll find out with this bearing design if it's going to last or not. It's a lot of things I've designed in my head. I haven't put it all on pen and paper, so it's not really finished. Although, I've gotten my dad to come up with an idea, because he thinks I'm stupid going crazy designing an engine when basically it's bits of an engine I'm designing. Now, the engine I'm designing uses a bit of technology that was very, very successful in the past years, but it came to a point where it wasn't so efficient at a certain point, and it became worse than what it should be, and using up much more fuel than it should have. When you think about it, a 4-stroke engine is more efficient when it's 4 cylinders, because if you use 2 cylinders, there's no power in between when it needs it, like to keep it rotating. So basically, if you have a 4-cylinder motor, you're already perfect. You've got the perfect engine. Now, the engine I'm going to design is actually got sensors in it to save it from burning up too much fuel if something mechanically fails. So that's a good thing. Although I have to make these things work and make them actually happen. Apart from that, I'm happy with what I've got so far. But I still have to design what I've got to design. So we're going to go up to my Nana and Pops, and we're going to see if we can find another engine. And this engine's going to be checked to see if it actually runs beforehand, and then we're going to try and build new components to put on this engine. And if it runs, we're going to have it dyno tested before to test how much power it has and everything. And then we're going to test it after to see how much more performance we gain from it. Now, if you've ever heard of valveless technology, that's what we're going to be creating. Now, some of that technology already exists, some of it doesn't. Now, valveless is pretty damn hard to create, and there are many factors involved to make it perform. And most of the time, people won't even bother trying because they can't get the best out of it. I've thankfully possibly found a way to get the best performance out of my valveless engine. Now, I'm not going to explain too much because people come along and, like, you know, pinch the idea, make it their own, and be up top and whatnot. Really, I shouldn't even be mentioning it. But other than that, that's basically it for now on the Triton side of things. The Pajero is now off the road. I've been driving around the Black Mamba. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, yes, we've been cleaning up in the yard. The Tritons, I'm still going to build the white one up, so I'll have to hope I can get enough money by January to re-register it and unregister it sort of thing, so I can keep it on the road. I might still have to take it through Regency, but other than that, I want to only take it through for the engine and power factors. So, where do I stand today? In recent days, my dad came up to my brother with a hard drive which won't boot anymore. The hard drive, in fact, it failed. Now, it wasn't the hard drive itself. The mechanical functions still work. It will still read data. The thing is, the PCB board, which is the breadboard in which has all the microchips and everything on it, there's a part on there somewhere, we don't know where, that has failed, and so it's not turning the motor. The motor doesn't spin up, the arms don't work, nothing works on it. So I ordered in a new chip. It cost me $60 to get it here sooner. At the same time, that's also how much it costs to buy the chip. And so we put that on there, and we've tested it. Now, it does attempt to spin up. The job that has to be done will have to be done by a qualified person who knows how to do it, or otherwise I'll have to try and do it myself, which is going to be insanely hard since there's 176 legs to unsolder really quickly, and also you have to remove the chip at the same time. It's intermediate, it's very hard to do, and there's a possibility that I'll fail. So I'm trying to get someone to help me out with it, possibly. So I'm doing IT Cert 2. I finished all my exams, thank God. And I've got one still that I have to redo, but I'm not allowed to do it on my own, which sucks. But I have to redo it. And it's the third attempt, so yeah. It's really hard though, the exams. Now my final exam, however, that I did on the first shot. And what the trick I had was up my sleeve was, even though I did the practice several times and got an almost perfect score of about 90%, when it came down to doing this final exam, I was actually the first one to even attempt it. And I've caught up to everyone else really quickly, considering I was at about chapter 9 when everyone was doing chapter 12 exam. And so I caught up to chapter 12, and then I got to do the final exam. Now, everyone else was just a few steps behind me when I got up to that final exam, because when I finished, I saw other people halfway through, and I was impressed with how far I've come. Final exam had about 55 questions. I saw people in the class cheating. I'm sorry, guys, I did see it, but I'm not pointing you out because, you know, I look like an ass, but I'm just saying it because in the end, it won't matter what I say because, you know, the people that actually post this exam actually can tell if someone's cheating or not. Especially if you get 100% and it's almost impossible for you to do that. They can just go, well, what has this guy done? And they can see exactly what web pages you've gone to, what you've done on your computer at the time you did it. It's pretty impressive what they do. It's like tracing your keystrokes and whatnot, but it's in an educational environment, so it's allowed. Well, I finished all my exams. I got about 80% on the final exam. That wasn't very hard to do. The Chapter 12 exam, believe it or not, I got about 60% on my first attempt. And my second attempt, however, I passed about 80%. I don't know if I still have, I don't know all my scores, but I've done pretty damn well, I believe. And this is a Cisco course, by the way. Net Academy. I'll just go check out my scores. But while I'm doing that, I would like to tell you things I'd like to be able to do, but I don't want to do them because I don't want to be copyright. Now, this video, you might find it's on the Talscar channel instead of the Talscar Talcom channel. Now, there's more subscribers on the Talscar channel, and that's why I put it there. And the Talcom Studios channel, well, that's not going to do too well unless I actually make it work, because I have to really post some content up that actually match what's going on there, which is actually pretty hard since I don't know what I can really post there and what I can afford. It's a costly channel to do that one, but the Talscar 1 channel, however, is not as costly, so I might as well post things on the Talscar 1 channel until I can get the Talcom Studio channel up and running properly. But at least I have some content there to say, this is what we do. Now, I know it's a bit stupid. Now, I'm on my Cisco Networking Academy thing with all my grades and whatnot. I'd like to actually tell you all my grades for all my exams so you can actually figure it out. Now, 70% is the score I need to actually pass and not have to go back and do it again. So, for Chapter 1 exam, I got 79.1. For, where's the chapters order? Okay, my Chapter 2 exam, I got 71.4. Chapter 3, 86. Chapter 4 is 88.6. That's almost 90%. Chapter 5 exam, 77.1. Chapter 6 exam, 87.8. Chapter 1 to 6 checkpoint exam, I got 68.3. That means I have to redo it again. And that's the only one I really have to do. So now I'm going on to 7, which is 79.5%. Chapter 8 exam is 74.4. Chapter 9 exam, 72.7. And where's the chapter 10? It's all messed up in not in the right order. Okay, so here is the chapter 10. Chapter 10 exam is 93.3. Chapter 11 exam is 77.8. Chapter 12 is 75. And where's the final ones? Okay, there's the final exam. I'm not going to read that one out. I want to find the practice. Okay, practice final exam, 94.6%. And my final exam, which is the exact same sort of thing, but lots different, a lot different, I got 79.3. And that's the end. I've gotten almost all my points that I ever needed to get. And I'm impressed with what scores I've got. There are some others that I have to do. And before you... Also, I will note to everyone else, before you can do the actual final exam, you have to do a course feedback, otherwise it won't let you. It's a really weird thing. There are 4 blanks, which I still have to do. Hands-on skill exam, instructor use only, assigned student pass status, ITE 5 plus A plus cert practice exam 1, and then there's a cert practice exam 2, and that's it. So that's pretty interesting. I don't even know what they are for exactly, but something tells me that they are not very far away before we have to do them. But I basically finished my IT course. I still have work to do in it, but still I'm impressed with what I've gotten. There are a lot of things that are going to say you're not going to get your certificate, but as far as I know, I'm going to get a certificate for what I've done here. So I'm happy with that. I'm very happy. Now, my average apparent score is 80.5%, so I'm happy with that. A lot of other kids, believe it or not, there's a student in the class, she's very good with remembering things and very good at doing these exams. She's not very good practically because she'll poke you with a screwdriver and, you know, blood bleeding on the floor, you know, it's not very good. She's a very nice girl, though. She's very polite. She has phobia about screwdrivers now because she got told off by the teacher for holding the screwdriver the wrong way when she was handing it to someone. She was a bit quick. But she's very, very smart because she gets almost 100% all the time. She got, for a couple of her exams, 100%, and she didn't cheat, and I know that, so I'm happy for her. Although the people that are cheating, I'm not happy for them. I mean, I'm an honest person. You have to try not to cheat because that shows your skill. Cheating is when you have the answers right in front of you and you copy. I mean, copying is not a form of doing it yourself, having the brains to remember things that you may need in the future. If it came down to you having a job, cheating wouldn't be a part of the job criteria, especially if you didn't know what the hell you needed. That's why it's important to know everything you need to know. Like HTTP. That's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. I'm pretty certain I got that one right, and I've remembered it so many times that it's locked in my head, and not many people know exactly what HTTP means. So I'm pretty impressed with what I remember. Now, for all you people that are subscribed to me, watching this video, I am happy that you have actually watched this. Well, I don't feel that way, but still I'm happy because you've watched it and you come this far. I don't care if you don't really like the video because that's an opinion that you'll have to make up on your own. I am only making this video to tell you about what's going on in my life, what I'm going to do. Although I apologise for not getting pictures of everything. I'm a bit lazy at the moment. I've been busy like crazy. I've had a migraine today, so I do apologise for all this. Although I do enjoy being able to make something that people can enjoy. I apologise also if my volume sounds a bit yucky. It's probably because I'm loud in my room right now. But I am trying to make things a lot more clearer and the clarity and everything. But it's very hard. Now with my competition that I'm doing, this is the final thing we'll talk about. I've got my 30-second video. It's ready to upload. But the quality, I have a guaranteed chance of getting in the top 10. Out of all the videos there, I believe, I feel confident I'll get top 10. But I don't believe I'll come number 1 because my video quality isn't that great. My story is good enough, I reckon, but my quality is terrible. I'm honest about that. I'm sorry. I can try, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not the one to make the decision what goes on the air and whatnot, so I do apologise. And to all you people that are in the competition, I commend you for doing what you've done. but I'm not going to post my video until about 3 days left, because I don't want people to copy my idea, and like, you know, I've spent a lot of time developing that and making it work, and I was on my own, and not many people are on their own when they make a video, so I feel like I deserve this chance. And because where I stand at home, I need this chance. I want a chance to prove myself. Already, I'll tell you a fact that people have copied each other on that site, because the videos go up, people see it, people get ideas and try to beat another person's video. It's happened. There was a guy who was in 2 videos. It looked like it was, you know, someone pinched someone else's idea, but in fact, it was 2 different people, but one guy, you know, he did a different version with the same guy in the video. And there was another video that was very similar to another that was already made, which, you know, wasn't very fair, the cheating side of things. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. The more people like my content, the more I'll post. And please do encourage me to post things if you would like to see more of my content. I'm planning on doing some Terraria content, but right now I just have to find some people that want to play and see if they want to be a part of videos and whatnot. And actually, I feel like doing some really challenging things and trying my best to do whatever I can. I have fun streaming because people find that funny, and I like to fail because people enjoy failures. For some weird reason, it makes some people feel better than others when they see someone fail a lot. And that's a really good thing. If someone fails a lot and someone enjoys it because they don't feel so useless, they don't feel like the only one in the world, or they feel better than this person, it's a good thing. Because imagine this. If you're at the bottom of the food chain and you see everyone around you is better than you, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to feel like doing nothing. But you're inspired by where you stand when you see someone that's even worse than you. Say you're good at jumping cliffs, but you're bad at fighting bosses. Imagine if the person was bad at fighting bosses, but also bad at jumping over cliffs. You get the picture. It helps to have all those type of contents on the internet. Though you might dislike the video, you gotta think of it from a perspective that helps you. It improves you. The only times I'm gonna try my hardest is when it really counts and I gotta help my buddies out. But when I'm on my own and I'm just stuffing around, you know, when it's not so important, I'm not gonna try that hard. I'll fail as much as I have to. I'm not gonna try hard at all. Other than that, I will just say it one more time. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. The more people like my content, the more I'll post. And thank you very much. Have a good night now, everybody. Bye. Bye.